Now, we still have some expressions to cover with the verb avoir. These are called idiomatic expressions. And to follow along in your book, you should turn to page 56. Let's start off with avoir l'air plus un adjectif. This is to seem or appear. You can think of it like you have an air of something. Tu as l'air fatigué? You have an air of tiredness. Avoir besoin de. Now, don't think I'm crazy, but you actually can use this verb as well as, this word, as well as envie with a noun or an infinitive. So, bear with me. If I wanted to say, I have a need of money, I would say, j'ai besoin de l'argent. If I said I had to need to study, I would say, j'ai besoin d'étudier. So, j'ai besoin de plus non is to need something. J'ai besoin de plus an infinitive is to need to do something. The same methodology applies to avoir envie de. If I say that j'ai envie de l'argent, it means that I want money. That's something for me, it would be money. Right now, I have a envie de l'argent. But moving on. If you want to say you have an envy, you can kind of think of it like that, of doing something, you would say, let's say, I want to go to the movies. J'ai envie d'aller au cinéma. Having an envy of doing something. The last one is avoir l'intention de plus an infinitive for a verb. So let's say I have an intention of going to the movies. J'ai l'intention d'aller au cinéma. To intend, plan, to do something. Moving on to the inversion questions. Alright, so inversion is the opposite of intonation. Intonation is how you would normally write a sentence in French. Tu as un vélo? You would write the subject first and then the verb. This is how we all learn to speak whatever our first language is first. Then we can go on to inversion, which is going to have the verb, then the subject. So, pattern 1 for inversion questions involves the yes or no questions. Intonation is going to be on this side of the arrow, and then inversion will be on this side. Vous êtes français? Are you French? Becomes êtes-vous français? And notice that there is a little dash between êtes and vous. Elle vend des lapins? Does she sell bunnies? Becomes vend-elle des lapins? Remember to keep your liaison with this inversion. So, as you can see, I have placed the subject behind the verb to get from intonation, how you would normally write something, to inversion. Let's do a few more examples. Il a un bon job? A-t-il un bon job? Notice, for the noun to start with a vowel, you have to put a little t between the verb and the noun. So for il, on, and elle, you put a t. A-t-il, a-t-on, does one have hotness? Like, is someone too hot? That's what it means. Does he have a good job? Just ignore the T. It is simply so that you do not say a-il or a-on. It's a-t-il or a-ton. Over here we have our second pattern for inversion questions. On the left is intonation, on the right is inversion. Quand est-ce qu'il travaille? Quand travaille-t-il? Notice the E and the I have a T between it to make sure that you don't say quand travaille-il. Où est-ce que tu habites? Où habites-tu? Notice that right here, the S actually acts as invisible right there, so you have to notice that by habite, And before to, because it is inverted, you have to keep the dash, no matter if there's two vowels or not. It's because that's how you do it with inversion. You have to put the dash to separate the subject, which is now at the end, and the verb. So remember, to go from intonation to inversion, you do subject then verb for intonation, how you would normally see it, and then you go to verb then subject for inversion, how you would see it when you invert the question.